Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something that can change everything for you. You post something, and then you wait. You check back 5 minutes later. 10 minutes. You look at the number. Is it going up? Do people agree? Do they like it? And somewhere deep inside you feel that the answer to that question matters more than it should. You know this feeling. Most people know it. The quiet anxiety of waiting for other people to tell you that you are okay. That your work is good. That your opinion matters. That you belong. Here is the truth that most people never face. If you keep searching for that feeling in other people's reactions, you will never feel truly steady. Your confidence will rise and fall with every like, every nod, every frown. You will never feel free, because you have given the key to your own worth to someone else. But if you understand where this need comes from and how to build something stronger inside yourself, everything changes. Your relationships, your decisions, your ability to show up fully as who you truly are. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why strong people do not need approval, what approval seeking is doing to your confidence, and how to build the inner foundation that makes you genuinely free. Stay with me until the end. Part 1. Where the need for approval comes from. You are 7 years old. You draw a picture. You bring it to an adult. You watch their face. If they smile, something warm spreads through your chest. If they look unimpressed, something small collapses inside you. This is where it begins. The need for approval is not a weakness. It is a survival mechanism. For most of human history, being accepted by your group was literally a matter of life and death. Rejection meant isolation. Isolation meant danger. So your brain developed an extremely sensitive system for monitoring social acceptance. Research by neuroscientist Matthew Lieberman at UCLA shows that social rejection activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. Your brain genuinely cannot tell the difference between being left out and being hurt. This is why criticism feels so personal. Why rejection feels so physical. Because to your ancient brain, it is an emergency. Now let's go deeper. The problem is not that you care what people think. That is human and healthy. The problem is when that care becomes so strong that it controls your decisions. When you change what you say because of what others might think. When you avoid expressing yourself because of fear of judgment. When you need someone else's approval before you can feel okay about yourself. Imagine two people. One person shares an opinion only when they are sure others will agree. They stay safe. They stay comfortable. But slowly they lose touch with their own voice. The other person shares their genuine thoughts, even knowing some people will disagree. They face discomfort. But over time they become someone with a real perspective. A real presence. A real voice. Now remember this powerful truth. The need for approval is natural. But living entirely for approval is a kind of slow disappearance. Part 2. What approval seeking costs you. Here is something most people never calculate. The real cost of living for other people's approval. Every time you change what you say to please someone, you practice being someone you are not. Every time you hide your real opinion to avoid conflict, you teach yourself that your opinion is not worth defending. Every time you wait for someone's reaction before deciding how you feel, you practice not trusting yourself. Research by psychologist Brené Brown at the University of Houston shows that people who rely heavily on external approval experience significantly higher levels of anxiety, depression, and emotional exhaustion. Not because they care about people, but because they have outsourced their self-worth. And outsourced things are always at risk. Think about it like a house. Your confidence needs a foundation. If that foundation is inside you, your own values, your own judgment, your own sense of who you are, the house stands through any weather. But if that foundation is built from other people's opinions, every storm shakes it. Every criticism cracks it. And you spend enormous energy just maintaining it. Now let's go deeper. The approval trap is particularly cruel because it is self-defeating. The more you need approval, the less naturally confident you seem. And the less confident you seem, the harder you work for approval. It is a cycle that tightens with time. Here is a simple habit that breaks the cycle. Once a day, do one small thing for yourself that you do not share with anyone. Not for an audience. Not for a response. Just for you. A journal entry, a walk, a creative project. The practice of doing things that do not need external validation builds the internal foundation that eventually makes approval unnecessary. Now remember this powerful truth. Every time you act without needing approval, you are training yourself to be free. And freedom is the only foundation that holds. Part 3. The difference between feedback and approval. Here is an important distinction that strong people understand. The difference between wanting feedback and needing approval. They are completely different things. And confusing them is one of the most common mistakes in personal growth. Feedback is information. It tells you how your work is landing, what could be improved, what is working well. Good feedback makes you better. And genuinely strong people actively seek it. They are not afraid of criticism. They use it. But approval is something different. Approval is not information. Approval is permission. It says, you are okay. You are acceptable. You belong. And when you need approval before you can feel those things, you have given someone else enormous power over your life. Research by Carol Dweck at Stanford University shows that people with a growth mindset are significantly less dependent on external approval. Why? Because their self-worth is not attached to being perfect right now. It is attached to the process of growing. And growing is something no one can take away from you. Now let's go deeper. The shift from approval seeking to feedback seeking is one of the most powerful things you can do for your growth. Ask for honest assessments. Welcome criticism that makes you better. But stop waiting for someone to tell you that you are enough. You already are. Here is a powerful habit. The next time you receive feedback, whether positive or negative, practice one response. Thank you. I will think about that. Not defensive. Not desperate for reassurance. Just open. Just growing. Now remember this powerful truth. You do not need approval to be worthy. You only need the courage to keep growing without it. Part 4. Building inner security. Here is the question that gets to the heart of everything. If not from other people's approval, where does genuine confidence come from? Research by psychologist Albert Bandura at Stanford University shows that genuine self-efficacy, the deep belief that you are capable, is built through mastery experiences. Small successful experiences of doing difficult things. Not through praise. Not through being told you are good. through doing, through achieving, through surviving failure and continuing anyway. Think about a tree. The strength of a tree does not come from sunshine. Sunshine helps it grow. But the real strength is in the roots. And roots grow deep in response to resistance, to wind, to difficulty. The tree that has faced no storms has shallow roots. The tree that has survived many storms has roots that can hold it through anything. You are the same. Your confidence is not built in comfortable moments. It is built in the moments when you did something difficult and discovered you were capable. When you spoke up even though you were scared. When you expressed an opinion even though someone disagreed. When you kept going even though you failed. Now let's go deeper. This is why strong people seem so calm under pressure. Not because nothing affects them, but because they have a long history of handling difficulty. A long history of surviving. Their roots are deep. And deep roots do not need constant sunlight to stay standing. Here is a powerful habit. Every week, write down one difficult thing you did. One moment where you showed up even though it was hard. These small records of your own capability become the foundation of genuine confidence. Not confidence that depends on others. Confidence that is yours. Now remember this powerful truth. Inner security is not given. It is built. One hard thing at a time. And you are building it right now. Part 5. What strong people do instead. Here is the question most people never think to ask. If strong people do not need approval, what do they need? What drives them? What guides their decisions? The answer is values. Strong people are guided not by what others will think, but by what they themselves believe is true, right, and important. They have developed a clear internal compass. And that compass does not change direction when the wind shifts. Research on self-determination theory by Edward Deci and Richard Ryan at the University of Rochester shows that people guided by internal values show significantly higher levels of well-being, persistence, creativity, and genuine achievement than those motivated primarily by external recognition. Think about it this way. When your goal is approval, you stop the moment approval stops. When your goal is growth, you continue regardless of whether anyone is watching. When your goal is other people's opinions, you are always at their mercy. When your goal is your own values, you are always free. Now let's go deeper. This is why strong people can make unpopular decisions without collapsing. It is not that they do not feel the discomfort of disapproval. They feel it. But they have something stronger than that discomfort. Clarity about what they believe. And that clarity is more powerful than any crowd's opinion. Here is a powerful habit. Spend 5 minutes today writing your 3 most important values. Not what you think you should value. What you actually value. Honesty. Creativity. Growth. Kindness. Whatever is real for you. Then ask yourself honestly, are my recent decisions aligned with these values? Or have I been making decisions for approval instead? Now remember this powerful truth. Values are your compass. And a person with a clear compass cannot be lost, no matter how many people try to redirect them. Part 6. The practice of expressing without performing. Here is a subtle but powerful distinction. There is a difference between expressing yourself and performing for approval. Expression comes from inside. Performance is directed at an audience. And most people have lost the ability to tell the difference. When you post on social media hoping for likes, that is performance. When you speak in a meeting trying to impress, that is performance. When you choose your words based on what will make people like you more, that is performance. Performance is exhausting because it never stops. There is always another audience, always another approval to earn. Expression is different. Expression is saying what is true for you because it is true. Writing what you genuinely think because you genuinely think it. Expression is energizing because it comes from something real inside you. And real things do not need maintenance. Now let's go deeper. Research by James Pennebaker at the University of Texas shows that honest expressive writing produces significant improvements in psychological well-being and even physical health. Simply allowing yourself to express what is genuinely true for you has measurable positive effects. Not performing, expressing. Here is a powerful habit. Once a day, write 3 sentences that are completely honest. Things you are actually thinking. Things you actually feel. Not for anyone to see. Just for you. This practice of genuine expression without any audience builds the habit of authenticity that eventually carries over into everything you say and do. Now remember this powerful truth. You were not born to perform. You were born to express. And your voice is one of the most powerful things you can offer the world. Part 7. Releasing the need. Here is something I want you to understand deeply. Releasing the need for approval does not mean not caring about people. It does not mean becoming cold or indifferent or selfish. It means something very different. It means your kindness comes from genuine care rather than from fear of judgment. It means your help comes from real generosity rather than from wanting to be liked. It means your relationships are built on genuine connection rather than on mutual approval management. This is deeper, more real, more sustaining. Research by Kristen Neff at the University of Texas shows that people who can offer themselves self-compassion are significantly less dependent on external approval. Because when you are kind to yourself, you do not desperately need others to be kind to you. You already have what you need. Now let's go deeper. The deep truth is this. Most approval seeking is not really about wanting other people's good opinion. It is about trying to silence the harsh voice inside your own head. The voice that says you are not enough. And the most direct way to silence that voice is not to get more approval from outside. It is to start giving yourself the acceptance you are seeking from others. Here is a powerful habit. The next time you make a mistake in any area of life, practice saying to yourself, "That is okay. I am learning. I am growing. I am enough right now." Not because you are perfect, but because you are trying. And trying is always enough. Now remember this powerful truth. The approval you have been searching for was never in other people's hands. It has always been waiting inside you. Part 8. Your voice in the world. Here is the bigger picture I want to leave you with. The world needs people who can speak without needing permission, who can express without needing validation, who can show up fully without waiting for approval first. Not because those people are special, but because the world changes when real voices speak. When people say what they actually think instead of what is safe. When people express what they genuinely believe instead of what is popular. When people use their real voice, even imperfectly, even nervously, even without any guarantee that others will agree. Research on social influence shows consistently that one person willing to express a genuine unpopular opinion gives others permission to do the same. Your voice, when it is real, has a ripple effect you cannot fully see. Now let's go deeper. This is why every time you express a genuine opinion without performing, every time you show up as you actually are rather than as you think you should be, you are doing something important. Not just for yourself. For everyone watching. Here is a powerful habit. This week, say one thing you genuinely believe in a conversation, even if you are not sure the other person will agree. One real sentence. Your actual perspective. Watch what happens. Most of the time, nothing terrible happens. And each time nothing terrible happens, the need for approval loses a little of its power. Now remember this powerful truth. Your genuine voice is more valuable than your approved voice. And the world needs you to use it. Part 9. You are already strong enough. Here is what I want you to feel right now. Not the pressure to immediately stop caring what people think. That is not how it works. But a genuine recognition that the strength you are looking for is already inside you. It has always been there. Every time you have done something difficult and continued. Every time you have expressed a real opinion, even knowing someone might disagree. Every time you have gotten up after making a mistake. That was strength. Real strength. Not performed strength. Earned strength. You are not building strength from nothing. You are uncovering strength that is already there. Underneath the approval seeking. Underneath the fear of judgment. Underneath the habit of performing. There is a person who is genuinely capable, genuinely real, genuinely worth knowing. Now let's go deeper. And that person does not need approval to be worth knowing. They just need to show up, exactly as they are, without apology, without performance, without waiting for permission. Here is a powerful habit. Each morning this week, before you check your phone, before you look at any reaction or response, say one thing to yourself. I am enough today. Not because everything is perfect, but because you showed up. And showing up is always enough. Now remember this powerful truth. You are not waiting to become someone. You are already becoming. And the world is ready for exactly who you are. Part 10. The life on the other side. Here is what becomes possible when you stop needing approval. Not a perfect life. Not a life without difficulty. But a life that is genuinely yours. You make decisions based on your values, not based on what other people will think. You speak honestly in your relationships because you are not performing. You take risks you would never have taken before because the fear of disapproval no longer controls you. You feel a steadiness inside yourself that does not depend on what happened today, what someone said, how many people agreed. Research consistently shows that people with high internal locus of control, the belief that their life is shaped primarily by their own choices rather than by external forces, report significantly higher life satisfaction, lower anxiety, and greater resilience across their entire lifetime. Think about the energy you currently spend managing other people's impressions of you, choosing words carefully so no one is offended, editing yourself before you speak, checking reactions after you do. That energy, redirected inward, becomes the foundation of something extraordinary. Here is a powerful habit. Once a week, do one thing purely because it matters to you. Not because it will impress anyone. Not because it will get a reaction. Just because it is meaningful to you. Build the muscle of acting from the inside out. And watch how differently life begins to feel. Now remember this powerful truth. The life waiting for you on the other side of approval seeking is not a lonely life. It is a free one. And free people connect more deeply, love more genuinely, and live more fully than anyone waiting for permission ever could. Final message. The most powerful thing you can do today is not something dramatic. It is something quiet. It is the decision to trust yourself a little more than you trusted yourself yesterday. To speak a little more honestly. To need a little less approval. To let your real voice come through, even imperfectly, even nervously, even without knowing how it will land. That small shift, practiced every day, changes everything. Not because it is loud. Because it is real. And real things grow. They compound. They become, over time, the foundation of a life that feels genuinely yours. You are not behind on this. You are not broken. You do not need to become someone different. You need to become more fully who you already are. So from today, speak. Express. Show up. Without waiting for anyone's approval. Because the world is not waiting for your perfect performance. The world is waiting for your real voice. And your real voice is ready. Something inside you already knows this. Something inside you has always known it. Today is the day you start acting like it. Now I want to hear from you. Write one English sentence in the comments. Tell me one thing you genuinely think or feel today. Your real thought. Your honest feeling. One sentence. That is all. If this video helped you, subscribe to Gentle Wisdom. And remember, you do not need approval to speak. You only need the courage to be real. See you in the next video.